Hey guys, Falcone here, and what are we looking at right now? We're looking at legal paperwork. Woo! I'm not a lawyer, so take literally every word that comes out of my mouth in this video with a grain of salt. But this is the most recent legal documentation that Epic Games have filed against Apple. Oh god, and it's so funny. Okay. Look, going back, you may have seen I've already made 2 videos on this topic. One claimed that, they've both kind of claimed that really Epic are in a good spot when it comes to all of this, that they've been pretty smart in their way of doing this, even if it was just an attempt to advertise the game. They've got people talking about Fortnite. Yeah, great. But it turns out Epic are in more trouble than it seemed. And it seems like things may have backfired a bit. So, we're going to just run through a few little bits of this. So, preliminary statement. I'm going to move out the way so you can see it properly. Apple is a monopolist. It controls all app distribution on iOS. It controls all app payment processing for digital content on iOS. It unlawfully maintains these 2 monopolies by explicitly prohibiting any competitive entry in either market. It is highly likely to lose this case. Wow, okay, well, we're going to Epic here. They're very confident that they're going to win. The problem is, legal cases aren't like a 5-minute thing. Anyone that's been keeping track of this and wondering, I wonder when we're going to get our conclusion. That's not how it works. This is going to be over months and months and months, maybe even years of court battles and a lot of money spent on both sides. So really, they don't want to have this legal battle. Just putting this out there. Epic never really wanted to have a legal battle. They just wanted Apple to sort of give in to their demands. Either way, we'll continue. On this motion, however, all Epic seeks is for the court to stop Apple from retaliating against Epic for daring to challenge Apple's misconduct. As set out in more detail in the complaint on August 13th, Epic ceased complying with one of Apple's anti-competitive rules. It offered players of its popular game Fortnite the option of lower prices on in-app purchases using a competing payment processor. This was a necessary first step on the long road to freeing consumers and developers from Apple's decade-long monopolistic grip over app distribution and in-app payment processing on iOS. Okay, so what they're claiming here is Epic have sacrificed themselves. They have taken the first step in taking down the monopoly, but the monopoly Apple have retaliated, and they have taken Fortnite off the App Store. Boo-hoo. And I think the initial impression is that that's not going to hurt Fortnite too much. But if we scroll down a bit, we are going to see how much it does. And there's the Unreal Engine. Apple has attacked Unreal Engine, Epic's 3-dimensional environment engine on which millions of third-party developers rely. And yep. We know, we get it, the Unreal Engine thing. Apple and iOS. At a market cap of over $2 trillion, Apple is the most highly valued publicly traded company in history. Apple's empire is vast and extends to personal computers, smartphones, and tablets, music sales and streaming, wearable devices, digital messaging, digital store, web browsing, creativity and productivity software, credit cards, television programming, and more. Apple controls iOS, one of the world's most widely used operating systems, used solely in mobile devices that Apple sells. And as OS is software that supplies basic functionality to users of computers, including personal computers and mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets, on mobile device consumers, OS options are effectively limited to a choice between devices that run on Google's Android's OS and Apple devices running applications or apps. Okay, so again, it's a lot of the same thing, right? It's a lot of Epic being like, yep, they're kind of explaining in their words what Apple is, what Apple does, and what Apple does that is so anti-competitive, and trying to show the courts what the issue is. But the point that they're making in this thing is actually that it's hurting Fortnite more than expected. You can find this paperwork online yourself. It is a very quick Google search away. So feel free to do that. I may even link it in the description. But if you want to follow along with me, we're on page 10 now, where it says Fortnite is more than just a game. It is an intensely social community whose value to its users depends in large part on the ability to connect with others. Epic has built a community that people rely on. By removing Fortnite from the App Store, Apple has cleaved millions of users from their friends and family in the Fortnite community. The hyperbole is unreal. I get what they're saying, though, which entirely depends on connectivity. The user outcry has been deafening, showing real harm to the public interest. This is the really funny part. Daily active users on iOS have declined by over 60% since Fortnite's removal from the App Store. I mean, daily active users on iOS has declined by 60%. I would have thought the idea is they want it to be Apple want that to be 100%, right? They've removed it from the App Store. I don't actually know fully how this is working. I don't have Fortnite installed on my phone. I don't know whether it's that people can still play with others that haven't updated or what, or if they're just stuck in I think it's Chapter 2, Season 3. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. And removal already has resulted in a loss of goodwill and irreparable damage to Epic's reputation. The continued loss of Fortnite as a gathering place for users on all platforms will lead Epic's customers to defect. Epic may never see these users again. It will also be denied the opportunity to access even a single new user among the 1 billion plus iOS users for at least the next year. The removal of Fortnite from iOS also substantially impedes a major Epic initiative evolving Fortnite into a full-fledged metaverse, a multi-purpose, persistent, interactive virtual space. Harm like this to Epic's flagship app cannot be calculated in damages. It then goes on to talk about Unreal Engine, etc., etc. So here's the thing. It seems like in this, Epic are admitting, look, we kind of goofed a bit. We have lost a lot more players than expected. It doesn't look good on them that they started this, and they admit that they started this, and now they're claiming that the damage that Apple has caused in retaliation is damage that cannot be calculated in terms of in terms of a monetary price. Again, Epic started this, but it's still complex because they argue at the beginning, and this is, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it again now, and this is a very a very reasonable argument. Something had to be done. If Apple as a monopoly is this damaging for developers and consumers alike? I mean, again, big Apple fanboy. Mentioned this in previous video. I love Apple. I use Apple devices, just not PC because I think Macs aren't great anymore. But iPhones, iPads, etc., Apple Watch, love them. But maybe if it was less of a monopoly, it would be better for consumers. There's definitely counter arguments there. People will argue that actually the App Store is super secure. It's a super streamlined experience. It's one of the things that makes the iPhone so great is that it's so easy to use and download stuff. True. I get that. I agree. I much prefer shopping on App Store than on something like an Android, the Play Store, or on an Android phone where you don't know which store you're opening and stuff because there's multiple available. I personally, as a consumer, that's one of the reasons I like Apple. I like the streamlined experience. So there is that thought in my head that actually if Epic got their way and if there was an Epic Store and Steam and Battle.net and Google Play Store and the Apple App Store all available on iPhone, maybe that will confuse consumers. Maybe consumers won't know where to go first. And that might sound silly, but my parents use iPhones, right? And even my grandma uses an iPhone, and they already kind of sometimes struggle to find what it is that they want. And I find myself doing stuff for them all the time, whether it's downloading an app they want or whatever. If they not only don't know how to do that, but I'm not even going to know which storefront they need to go on to find said app, that could be problematic. But on the other hand, the developer thing seems pretty big. Epic are extremely I want to say they're trying to be pro-consumer, but what they do definitely seem to be, indisputably, is pro-developer. They want developers to have a higher piece of the pie, a bigger piece of the pie. And that seems to be what they're really pushing for. And that also comes with big advantages. So it seems as though Epic are arguing that they've literally sacrificed themselves. They've put themselves in harm's way, or they've put their company in harm's way so that they can make a difference. And it seems as though we're not going to know whether they actually are going to make a difference with that for years to come. But in the meantime, Epic's struggling. Fortnite's struggling. Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 4 launched last week. On PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, not and on Android, I think, but obviously not on iOS. It's Marvel themed. The marketing is out of this world. That's something Fortnite do excessively well, as they are very good at marketing and pulling people back in. Myself and Toby had a go last week because, we want to play as Iron Man. That sounds cool. Despite the fact we hadn't played Fortnite in months and months and months. So, there's still a lot going for Fortnite there. But there are problems being caused by this and big reputational issues as well. My next door, just on a personal note, my next door neighbor was putting on Facebook a few, last week. We don't know what to do. How do we merge an iPhone Fortnite account with PlayStation? My son has lost all of the skins. We've spent hundreds of pounds on this game. Please tell me there's something that we can do about this. I hate Apple. I hate Epic. Oh, I hate Apple. I hate Fortnite. They probably didn't even know that Epic is the name of that. But yeah, and this may not seem, maybe in your circles that's not a thing, because a lot of us are real gamers and we don't play Fortnite. We play Fall Guys. But there's a lot of families, especially when you look towards school and you look towards younger generations. And I'm talking people that aren't even old enough to be on Twitch. If you look at the sort of, I guess, 7 to 13-year-old category, there's a lot of people that are playing Fortnite, a lot of parents that are having to try and sort of maintain that and monitor that and fix issues, etc. And a lot of parents who are really struggling to do that kind of thing. And they aren't going to be happy with Epic or Apple at the moment. So I'm going to pass it off to you. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Who's in the right here? Apple, Fortnite. Who's going to win the lawsuit? And is Fortnite going to be reinstated on iPhone? This is so interesting. I hope that it continues to be interesting because it's fascinating to talk about. But for now, I'll see you in the next one.